What's up, everybody? I'm Cy Smith.
And I'm Zoe.
And you are visiting justlisten.com and
newjazzspirit.blogspot.com. There it is.
Okay, so you were in Paris like in January for a concert with the foreign exchange. So how was it? How did you feel it?
So
it was a quick one. But as far as the energy that we got from the crowd, and like, I know for me, that was the most enthusiastic crowd I think I've ever played in front of, period.
Absolutely. That was the definitely the most enthusiastic crowd. And everybody remembers when they started chanting Cy Smith, C. Smith. It was fun.
Yeah.
That was good. It was good because people back in the States don't really know that Paris has a really thriving soul and hip hop scene. Like, everybody in the States is just kind of self-centered. All we know is the States. So it was really nice to see those videos and then share the YouTube videos with people back home so they can see, like, people get down in Paris too. And yeah, that's a good thing.
Okay, so you released this crazy album with Fonte and Together Love the 80s. How is it working with Fonte actually, and what was the musical creation process?
It's very easy. This is why we continue to work. I mean, with me and Fonte, it's basically, sometimes it's not even spoken. Sometimes it's just, we just, it'll just come through conversation, or it'll just come through, if I'm making music one day and I hear his voice on it, I'll, just text him or call him up and be like, yo, I got a joint for you. And he'll be like, send it through. He'll record to it, send it back. This is like a matter of 24 to 48 hours. So it's very quick turnaround. We know how each other works. Once we do that, then, I'll put the finishing touches on it and get moving to the next thing. So it's like, it's really quick.
Last year you released Sandstorm, which created such a buzz with a lot of featurings, many artists, very good artists like Cy Smith, and we wonder how you come up with such a project, very ambitious.
Sometimes I wonder it myself. I think, I don't know, I want to credit it to just over the years, kind of, building with a lot of like-minded artists, a lot of artists who I know are very hardworking, who I know who are extremely talented.
As well.
Yeah, exactly. To where it's kind of like, they know how they understand how hard you're working, and it's kind of a respect thing. Definitely on a talent level, definitely on a personal level, to where if I call Cy and be like, yo, Cy, I got a song, can you do this for me, blah, blah, blah. She's like, yeah, no problem. And it's like, wow, that's it? Like, we don't have to I don't have to talk to a manager, you know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing as what I was just talking about with Fonte, like, the respect is there. Like, I respect all of the artists that are on there, to the fullest, and a lot of them are my favorite artists, so I feel very fortunate to have them on just on one project, you know what I mean? And the great thing is that when you do something like that, you build up a rapport so that you continue to work. So like the next project, Just Visiting 3, I already have some of the Sunstorm artists on that album, including Cy Smith. So
and from the recording artist perspective, we've been watching Zoe build his body of work over the years, even though maybe the rest of the world didn't know, we knew, so we were all familiar with Zoe and what he'd been doing. So, I know, like, when he called me, I was like, not just I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And I think probably all the artists on that album probably felt the same way. The indie soul scene is so small, and I think that those of us who are putting out quality work, we all see each other and we all recognize each other. And even if that recognition is kind of just silent, you know, like when black folks walk down the street each other and give each other the silent nod, you know, the artists do the same thing to each other. We just kind of give the silent, okay, I see you, I know what you're doing, and I'm ready whenever you call me. So, yeah, that's how that works.
Interesting. Yeah. And what about you, Soulissime? You're a multi-talented artist.
I thought you were going to say multi-millionaire. I was like, really?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh, man.
You write songs, you're a singer, live performer, this is amazing. I read like you're the most hard-working woman in the music business.
I've been called worse.
Really?
Yeah. No,
So,
it's okay.
So what part of the job do you prefer? Singing, writing?
You know, whenever people ask that, that's a tough question to answer. I don't know that I prefer anything. I do know that I really, really like being on stage, and I take that opportunity any place that I have, even if it's not a stage. I will jump on a table and put on a show, or I'll do theater. Okay. I've done a lot of acting. I like performing, but I like writing, I like producing, I like being on the other side of the glass, so to speak, you know, in the studio. I like being at the mixing board, as long as I'm not the one singing, you know, I'm producing other artists. I just like having an outlet, a place where I can say what's on my mind and feel free to say it without any, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna always make people happy, and I don't really care to. I just want to say what I feel like saying and get it out. Otherwise, it will fester inside of me and it'll make me sick. So as long as I have an outlet, I'm cool.
Yeah, that's cool. So can you both tell us about your collaboration in the future or new projects, maybe?
I'll let you go.
Well, I kind of made mention of one
Yeah.
The Just Visiting 3 will definitely be working. I know for sure we'll be working on once my solo album comes out, which I don't have a title for or anything, but I know for sure we'll be working.
And just before we started this interview, we were talking about putting together a live show together, like maybe like a jazz trio, Zoe, upright bass, drums, and me, and sort of doing jazz versions of our songs, you know, and sort of mingling those with some of the covers that we already do, and just putting sort of a jazz twist on what we already do. I think it would be really cool. Yeah.
And what about you with Mark the Clive, though? Yeah.
Yeah, well, Mark and I, we finished a whole project. The last song that we recorded is a duet with Rasan Patterson. It's an old Billy Ocean tune, but it's so dope. It's so bad.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. And Mark and I have been doing shows together where he sets up all his equipment, his MPC, keyboards, Fender, Rhodes, everything, and he produces beats on stage, and I have my mic and my little vocal pedal, and I sing, but we improvise the entire set. We don't rehearse anything. So what you see is happening right there live. It's not something we've rehearsed. We never do the same show twice because we can't remember what we did the night before, and it's a lot of fun. We're hoping to take that show to more cities. We've done like New York, DC, Toronto, Ottawa, Oakland, LA, Chicago, but we really want to do more cities, and especially to Europe, because what it is electronic. It's improvised dance music. You know, everything is really fast, and I can't wait to do more. Yeah.
Because it's amazing.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
So to come back to your background, which artists really influenced your art, your work?
There's so many. I mean, you got the regular, everyone's favorites. You know, you got Marvin and Stevie, but I mean, you know, cats like Dilla. You have Leroy Hudson. Anyone who's putting out melodic melodic music, Motown era. You know, that's what I grew up off of. Earth, Wind and Fire, Ozzy Brothers, Funkadelic, James Brown. You know, you pull from, you know, these different places, and it's not only just artists, it's your, you know, your life experiences as well. So it's like, you know, I always say that music is emotional. So, you know, whatever you're feeling, like, you know, if you listen to Sunstorm, like Sunstorm is whatever I was feeling from like 2008 to 2010. You know what I mean? That's like my little fingerprint from that period of time. So, you know, you pull influences from artists, but you also pull them from, you know, different experiences that you're living.
Yeah. I it's weird for me because as a singer, I didn't really grow up listening to a lot of singers for reference. I listened to singers just because they were on the radio, but I patterned more of my voice after like horn players, and any band that had like horns, like Earth, Wind and Fire, and you know those old Confunction, Bar-Kays, Cameo back in the day had lots of horns. I was into that. A lot of the go-go bands from back in the day, EU and Trouble Funk and all of them, they had a lot of horns. And I didn't really consider myself a singer, and that's why. I just like to make noises. So, you know, so everything was just... That's what I like to do, you know. And so, so I didn't pattern myself after singers so much as I patterned myself after horn players and horn sections.
This is very interesting because at the Foreign Exchange show, you did something like improvising, you know, like the DJ.
Oh, yeah. I was very much into hip hop, and
yes.
I'm definitely a B-girl. You know, I come out of B-girl culture. I listen to a whole lot of hip hop growing up. A lot of, you know, just that what was going on in the '80s, especially. You know, from, I mean, from Sugar Hill Gang on up, but you know, especially Run DMC and like when people had battle records and would battle each other, and this record was the answer to that record, and MC Light and 10% Diss and all that stuff, and you know, when DJs were a part of the show, you know, you could name whose DJ was who, you know, like I was really into that. So yeah, so all that kind of became a part of my sort of vocal vocabulary too. Just you know, that I was into all of that. I was a noisemaker.
So what are you listening right now? Like which artists are you listening? Producers?
Normally when I create, I normally listen to a lot of stuff that's old, like a lot of older stuff, and not necessarily. I guess both for influence, and also because sonically, I always feel like their sound is more, you know, just superior. Like you can hear, like for example, if you listen to what's the joint? If you listen to Easing In by Edwin Starr, like you can hear like the dude's skin, you know what I mean? Like you can hear
I like it.
you can hear like the dude's skin on his fingers as he's snapping.
Right.
Like, you know, it's so like sonically superior to what we're listening to now, and you know, like the reel-to-reel, the 2-inch tape, and you know, the analog feel, and you know, it's real warm and thick, and you know, I try to listen to that and try to study that and make sure that, you know, I come as close as I can to that sound and matching that feeling, because you know, once you know, you get close to a song because you know it brings you a good feeling. So you know, I want to try to listen to stuff that influenced me to bring that feeling on record and possibly connect with everybody.
Mm-hmm. I'm listening to, you know, like I listen to stuff to get into performance mode, you know, and for me, that it's weird. Like I'll get into like Marilyn Manson and 9 Inch Nails, you know, because it's so hard and so eager, you know, and it's like it's very aggressive, and I like that sort of aggression. I think that kind of aggression mixed with my natural tendency to kind of be a little mild-mannered pushes me out a little more, you know. So I liked that kind of stuff, gets me amped, you know. Even like, you know, old Juvenile records and Mystical, like anything that just gets me a little more aggressive than I normally am, you know. It's strange, but that's what gets me going. And then just to inspire. I mean, I'm inspired by. I mentioned King. I love Beattie Bell, Gretchen Parlato, all these chicks with really pretty voices. I hate them all. I love them. I love them. And then I listen to a lot of instrumental stuff. Again, like talking about Herbie and the trio and a lot of and I'm really into like Ella Fitzgerald and like Ella with Louis Armstrong. I just love the two textures of voices, with what she's doing. I love that kind of sort of juxtaposition. Anything that just makes me feel like getting on stage, which is probably everything.
That's cool. Do you want to deliver any message to the Parisian femme? Anything?
Oh man.
Je suis contente d'être ici à Paris.
I don't follow that. Right.
Remix.
I know, right? I mean, just actually, just thanks for being so enthusiastic about music. Like, I mean, I felt it each time. I was just here again last month with Kokai for the what was it? Sons Liban.
Festival Sons.
And we played that with Jean Grey and Pharoah Monch. And there were small kids in the audience, and they had they come down and they were dancing, and they were on the side and break dancing, and I'm like,
that's great.
Yo, I can't
Yeah.
We can't. Sometimes we can't even get people to get up out their seat,
right.
leave their drink at the table. These guys
put
here.
the flip cam down.
Right, exactly. Come on, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you guys are just really. Y'all are inspirational because when you get that energy from the crowd, like you want to go all in. Then it's really crazy.
It's really wonderful because Paris has historically been a place for an underground scene. Like going back to the 20s and 30s, and Josephine Baker and all these people that have come over here. For whatever reason, whether it's political sort of asylum or just a place to be accepted for being who they are, and it's still that way, and I think that we get to appreciate it a little more because we're in a scene that's so underground, obviously if you're like with, I don't know, Snoop Dogg, he can go anywhere, but Zoe and Cy Smith, we can't just go anywhere and get that kind of greeting, but we can come here and people will be like, and that's a wonderful feeling. And I know that it's part of a tradition, a long history of Paris kind of being that place, where they really appreciate good art. So lets me know that I'm on the right path.
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Come back to Paris, get my confidence.
Exactly.
Last but not least, do you have a philosophy of life or any quotes you want to share with the audience, the readers?
I don't have any quotes. I think in the moment, I'm just ready to live. And if you're ready to, live in the moment with me, then let's go. That's all.
I'm about good music. There's two genres of music to me. Good music and bad music. There we go. That's my philosophy.
That's hilarious. That's great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Merci.
Merci.
Ooh, I've been jaded, yes, complicated by factors that were out of my control.